Welcome to the supp channel. Like I said, I was gonna post up another video. I got the fruits right here. I got the phone hanging on that. Pretty much this thing, but it's got like little suction cups. So right now it's not really like suctioning too well. If it starts to fall or do some dumb shit, I'll just change it. Put this. I'll put it against this cup. This cup actually, like, I've been leaning my phone up against this cup and it's been working. It's just fucking ghetto and stupid. I don't even know why. I mean, like, I really wanted to chance it. I was like, you know what, this thing might work. Like, it's working right now. I was holding my phone, but I just figured I'll just try to do some shit. I'm trying to finish my 16 ounces of water. I've already drank fairly 66 ounces of water, which is actually going over the minimum of my 117 pounds, 117 point, I think, 2, or I don't know, whatever I put in the water app about my weight, it accumulates to 58.2 or 58.6 ounces of water for my weight, which is recommended out of the daily. But I got it up at 66. And then whatever this comes out to, like this, I'm going to juice this, like I said. I was going to do the cucumber. I'll show it right now. But whatever it accumulates up to, this will tell me the ounces. I could just add that onto the app. And then tomorrow I'll wake up real fresh. I'll be flushed out or whatever. I might eat something. I had some food earlier. And then when I took a nap, I knocked the fuck out. Because I've been getting up super early with my puppy. I've been running her pretty hard. The last few days, like, especially when we did that 4-mile run. We did that 4-mile run. She was feeling it, getting exercises. She was over exceeding most of her shit on the run or whatever. So it kept her fairly pretty tired. And then the next day, I'm waking up early. She goes to bed a little earlier than me. I'm sleeping a little lesser because sometimes I'm used to staying up late. And I'm not processing correctly, like I'm falling asleep, but I'm fighting my sleep like an idiot. And so I wake up at like 5, like today I woke up at like 5:22, right? And like we did I got ready, I took a bath, I did all this other shit, cleaned up a little bit, I mopped, and then we head on out. I took the trash out, we head out to the park, did the exercising there, the running and stuff like that, went to my mom's, blah, 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 came back, worked out at the office, like I just did a bunch of shit, like, and I get real tired, so I slept. It's already like 8:12. I'm probably gonna stay up a little late, and then tomorrow I'm gonna sleep in a little bit. She's real tired. I've been running her like crazy, back to back to the park, back to back exercising, back to back, running up and down, and it's because I know she's going through a growth spurt. Because after the 8 months, there's a period of time where they start to grow more. See, there goes the stupid phone. Give me a second. I'm gonna take this off. I don't want to ruin this thing's just gonna totally ruin everything. I know it is. I could just sense it. Is the time still running? Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Just a bunch of bullshit I don't want to put up with. I want to make sure I'm putting out the right amount of content and stuff, or putting out the right whatever, you guys get what I'm saying. So basically, here's the fruits. All right, so I got the cucumber here. It's actually, it was really longer, right? It was like a lot more. It's pretty big, but I cut it up. I cut the ends. I shaved this off. But what I was gonna say is that basically, like with the skin, the skin's good. It's actually eliminates. When you eat the whole cucumber, it eliminates a lot of shit. I can re-look it up and then make another video, and I'll write down my stuff. Like I said, the watermelon, it has lycopene. That's what it's called, lycopene in it, or lycopene. And like I explained it in the last video, this is really good for you. Like I'm assuming that the skin, it helps like really detoxify stuff. The inside is like the water base, like the it has a certain amount of water content, and like I said, but there's vitamins. There's certain particular vitamins in here that get the lymph nodes going, especially with the lycopene. Like I said, inside the watermelon juice, that pumps the vessels. It keeps it to pump, and then this is working like a cleanser. there will be a time when I start to get some cash from my job and shit like that, and I get things situated, because not everything's really situated right now. Everything's kind of like slow motion, but it'll get to where it needs to be. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to like dwell on it too much, because like if I start thinking too much about it, then it starts to like kind of fuck with me. You know what I mean? Everybody goes through their struggles, you know what I mean? I've heard about plenty of friends that were struggling and stuff like that. So right now it's probably just my time of struggle, but I'm gonna succeed in anything I do as long as I put my mind to it and keep strong and keep the faith. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to be motivational for myself. If I gotta be motivational for the other niggas, you know. Some people don't have hope. You know what I mean? Some people lose faith and they're like, ah, fuck it, and they go off the rim on that shit. You know. But anyways, like I was saying, okay, so what I'm going to end up doing is, like, when I do the watermelon, I'll probably do, like, half a watermelon, right? And then I'll do, like, maybe, like, 4 or 5 cucumbers. I'll probably strip the skin, a couple of them, and then blend it. Because I don't really know this is what it's going to taste like. Right now, we're going to try it out, right? But I'm saying I'll more than likely shave the skin off and do something with the skin. And then just watermelon and this, right? Because that way this doesn't interfere, because I feel like this is going to taste kind of funny. But anyways, like right now I just already had cut up an orange, an apple. I'm going to cut up half this ginger, right? Half the ginger should be good. I want to save another half for tomorrow, because I'm going to be doing like a hard cleanse in the morning, which would be just like lemon. Or before I actually go to where I need to go or do what I got to do tomorrow. Or it's just gonna be a relaxed day. You know, I'm just gonna chill. Maybe I'll talk to one of my homies or something, and maybe we can get something worked out or whatever. But anyways, long story short, so I'll show you right here. So this is the apple, this is the orange, this is the lemon. See how the lemon's kind of small, but it's still fairly strong. I'll just squeeze this in here, you know, to give it what it needs. I got 4 lemons over there, and like I said, this is my Ninja blender. It works very fucking well. And I just downloaded my video. I already posted it up on Facebook. I'm hoping my friend David will help me promote. He thinks I'm sexy, you know. He's a little how do you say? He's a little tippy toe, you know. But I don't care, you know what I mean? Like I love my people, man. I don't care if you're gay, if you're lesbian, or you know what I'm saying, like or whatever. Like I don't judge, you know what I mean? Like I said, like I said before, I got a lot of black homies from fucking California. A lot of my niggas, I was always kicking it with my homies, you know what I mean? Like I was always on that aspect of like, I don't know what it is. Like I've always gravitated more towards blacks, you know what I mean? Like I learned a lot more from them. I mean, the ones that I knew that I kicked it with were really real with me, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say that they're all chill, because I've had me a couple grody ones, you know what I mean, that try to go against me and shit, and then they try to raise up on me, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking, you know what I mean? I don't know what you're talking about. And most of the time it could have been maybe they felt a certain way, or maybe I touched their ego a certain way, I don't know. But, yeah, that was just that bullshit back then. But, don't get me wrong, I kicked it with some Mexican fools back in the day and stuff like that. Like, not all, I don't know what it was, but, like, with them, for me, they were just shady as fuck, yo. Like, they were always shady. They were always trying to get over on you, or they were stealing from fucking you, or what. I never had that kind of issue with my niggas, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't like that with me, dude. And, I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie. It's an old movie with Christopher Walken, fucking Wesley Snipes, and the dude that plays like the CIS something show, where he has like glasses and he's always trying to be tough, and he's like a detective with red hair. I forget his fucking name, right? But he was pretty fly in that fucking movie. Like he was a cop and shit. But King of New York with Christopher Walken, Lawrence Fishburne, and Wesley Snipes. Lawrence Fishburne was the shit in that fucking movie, dude. That was such a gangster ass fucking movie. Like I remember when I was younger, my pops, before my pops was gone, like when he was out the picture, we used to have VHS. And sometimes I would come across these movies, like, where did these movies, like, I don't know what these movies are, right? Like, I would just be going through them. And one day I was like, what the fuck is this? King of New York. I was like, it didn't have no cover. And I popped it in. And in the beginning, when it was starting, I was like, this kind of seems kind of lame. But I seen that it said Wesley Snipes. And I knew who that was. And I was like, And I learned, I don't know what it was about movies back then, But like that helped me develop patience, because I was like, you know what, just chill, let it ride and see what it's about. Like give yourself some time, give some patience, you know what I mean? And when I started watching that shit, it was a fucking hardcore gang fucking drug deal movie. I was like, what the fuck, you know? And I used to love that shit. Like, I used to love the end of the scene where fucking Christopher Walken rolls up and his homie's out there and he's fucking, you know? And he's like trying to like get away from the cops. That fool rolls up like, hey dog, I got you. And he hops in there and there's the limo scene where he's coming out the side of the fucking window and then he's coming out on the side with the fucking, the top of well, they were in a limo, right? So they have that top window and he was like, come and get some, right? He had fucking twin 9 millis. That shit was gangster when he was like, whoa. That's the sickest shit. Like, to me, like, if you're a real fucking gangster, dude, you gotta be smart. You gotta know how to scrap. You gotta know how to blast, right? If you're the boss. And when you're a boss, you always have a right-hand man that you can fucking always go to and trust and peep to, you know what I mean? And that was Lawrence Fishburne. That was his right-hand man. Like, oh, I got you. You know, like, you ain't gonna get to him. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. It's kind of like that old saying, if you ever seen it. I'm not trying to disrespect or anything, but I got a homie named Raul, right? He works over there at the Aquarius. He's a River Rock. He's at the River Rock. He's a server, right? I remember one time I was at the bar and I was walking through the area, and like, let's say this is the bar, right? So he's over there, he's playing, and I was like, nobody goes through the Father except through me. And that fool started laughing, and I was like, why are you laughing for, right? And he's like, fool, he's like, that shit's like so old. And I'm like, so? Who gives a fuck? You think it's old, you know what I mean? But God don't get old, dog. You know what I mean? That's a big spirit. You know what I mean? He's all spirit. But that's how I kind of looked at it. Like when I think about that shit now, like in that movie, he's like, bah! You know, like, hey, you ain't gonna get through him until you come through me. You know what I mean? And that's some real loyalty shit right there. Like, he was black and that fool was white. You know what I mean? And they were like brothers, dude. Like he loved him. You know what I mean? They might have not said that shit, but you could see it in their eyes, like when they were riding for each other. You know what I mean? That's some gangster shit, dude. And that's how I felt with some of my homies. You know what I mean? Like they like, I don't know. I feel like my cousin had told me one time. He's like, you know what, dude? He's like, when we were little, he was telling me a story or whatever, and then he said, I would just follow you, you know, I would follow you and stuff. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I would always kind of look at you kind of like a leader, you know? And I was like, what the fuck? And I was starting to notice that a lot before I left Victorville when I was younger. And I was like, I was starting to realize my potential, you know what I mean? Like, I am a leader, you know what I mean? I don't follow nobody, you know what I mean? I do my own thing. I would always ride on my own. If I needed somebody, I'd get somebody, you know what I mean? And there would always be one person. I wouldn't tag along with like, no, 20 and 30 deep and all that. I'd just be like, hey, I'm going to grab one big ass nigga and you going to come with me. You know what I mean? And that was it. That was all that was, you know? And it's not like I was like hardcore. Like, I knew some fools that were really hardcore. They were really doing some shit, you know what I mean? But that wasn't me. It was just mainly like, you know, if someone was fucking with me, I'd let it be known to be like, okay, let's go over here. But for the most part, I was just a party dude, you know what I mean? I just like to go to the club and kick back and have some drinks and dance, you know what I mean? So, anyways, that's just all that stuff. I don't even know where I was going with that. But, cut this up. I'm going to throw this in here. And, hopefully David can help me out with the promoting the videos, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm just trying to do I think I'm doing the right thing, you know. I'm just trying to get some motivation out there for people. Just trying to be a little funny to tell you a little bit about my history, whether it's good history or it's bad history, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to let people know that they're not alone. You can always change your ways, you know what I mean? Like, you can always bounce back from wherever you're at. Like I said, I know some people that were struggling, or I know people that struggle, you know what I mean? I just think, personally, I was saying something to this girl that said she was depressed or whatever on Facebook, and I messaged her. I used to know her from way long ago. I was like, you good, you know? And she's like, yeah, I'm good, you know, whatever. Maybe she was just having a moment. Like, I understand. I've been through those moments. And I left her a voice memo, and I was like, hey, dude, you know, like, I'm like, basically with these videos, I'm trying to change the world one video at a time, you know? Like, I'm just pretty much trying to I'm trying to get people to come together. And like kind of like back in the hippie days, that's what I told her. I was like, I'm kind of like trying to be like a little hippie. I'm trying to be a hippie and like get people to get closer to one another. You know what I mean? Like preach to one another, like good things, just good things. Spreading the love, getting people to like stop being segregated and judging one another. You know what I mean? Like the only way we're gonna win this fucking war or whatever the fuck's going on with this fucking weirdo shit is just coming together, being cool with one another and cultivating with one another, getting to understand one another, giving more hugs and handshakes. And I don't see anything wrong with that. You know what I mean? Because if we all start doing that type of shit like they did in the 70s, oh, dude, you're going to have so much fun. You're not going to feel like out of place. People are going to be laughing. You're going to learn to like really to adjust onto one another. And then everything's going to be fine. You're never going to be alone. You're always going to have friends. Like, I just feel like everybody just needs to come together. Regardless of your race or like if you're gay or if you're lesbian or if you're black or if you're Mexican or you're white or Chinese. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. To me, that's the only way real change is going to occur. Right? Because like I said before, they say it's the United States of America, but they keep everything fucking segregated. Okay. Let's make it a real fucking America then. They're the ones that made it up. Like, we're the ones in power. You know what I mean? So let's all really come together and become united. They can't stop that. What are they going to do? Tax us because we're hanging out? You know what I'm saying? That reminds me of my fucking other dude, my other friend. His name is Christian, right? He was telling me about one of the nights. I didn't even know that I got fucked up. I was chilling at the bar. I was drinking. I was kicking it with him and with the other homie, Alex, and shit. And at some point, I just blacked out. I can't even fucking remember. Like, I remember a little bit towards the end where I was like, I'm going to go. I walked out the door, and I think I took a cab home, right? I woke up on the floor over here at my house. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not drinking or smoking or anything anymore. I had to kind of get off of that shit, you know what I mean? It was just time to stop, It was getting a little out of control and shit, But I mean, that's just what happens. Like, when you're at a job too long and you kind of let things kind of get to you, or just shit, just life, it happens. It happens. I've talked to so many people where they're like, hey, bro, they're like, don't worry about it. It's normal. They're like, that fucking shit happens, dog. It happened to me. I lost $2,000, like stupid shit, you know what I mean? But long story short, I was sitting there. I guess I was passing out. And he said, you were cool, dog. He's like, you were just chilling there. He's on security came by, and then they were bugging you. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, so you're gonna like give him shit because they said something about me, like I don't know if I fell asleep. I don't think I fell asleep. I think he said I dozed off for a second, but it wasn't that bad. And then I was just kind of just chilling there, relaxing, probably just smoking my cigarette, like right. And he's like, and I don't really remember, of course, but he's like, so you guys are gonna give him shit? He's like, because he's too calm. And that's kind of funny though. I can kind of get that shit. Hold on, because I'm washing my little shit over here, hold on. I can kind of get that because I had went on the reviews. There were some reviews that were on, through the casino or whatever like that. There were some reviews on there, and I had seen a lot of complaints. Like, god damn it, I seen a lot of complaints about the security. I'm not going to say all the security guards because, like, I know the security guards. Like, I got a big homie. He's, like, fucking super huge. He's like, what's up, buddy? Like, he's like the biggest fucking guy there, right? Like, he's cool as fuck. I like him. He's always gave me respect. I give him back respect, you know what I mean? And, like, one time I challenged him. It was a joke because I have him on Facebook. And he was like on Facebook, requested me, and I was like, no way, this fool. I was like, why does this fool want me on his Facebook, Because I'm little, you know what I mean? I'm fucking little and shit. And I was like, fuck it, I selected him, And he's like, what's up, man, So ever since then, like, I guess maybe he was probably peeping on my Facebook, and I'll throw up, like, little videos on there, you know what I mean? Like, when I was working out, and I was fucking getting it, and he passed by the bar one day, and he's like, what's up, bro, how you been? He shook my hand. I was like, oh, good. He's like, you getting them gains? And I was like, what? I didn't pick up on it right away, And then I had to think about it. And I was like, oh, he's talking about when I was working out. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, and I put my hand out, right? I was like, yeah, I'm getting those gains. And then he was kind of like, what? Like, he didn't get where I was going with it, right? So I put my hand out. He grabs my hand, and I told him, you want to see my gains? I tried to challenge him. He's like super fucking tall. He's taller than my other homies. And I was like, you want to see my gains? And I was getting prepared to like squeeze his fucking hand and pull him in, right? But he's like, get out of here. And he walked off. I don't think he was scared, but he was probably like, nah, I'm not going to disrespect you like that. Like, I'm hey, but I was ready for that shit, dude. I've actually grabbed like some big foods, not like that food, but pretty big. I grab them and fucking I pull them in, right? And there's like little tricks to it. Like, I don't know if they're really actually necessarily tricks. I call them tricks, but in reality, there's different there's different ways you can position yourself. Like I said, I'll be talking a lot about that guy, Mr. Shahan Lee, the guy I was learning from. I seen him in the video. If you go onto my Facebook and you go into the video, he's there's this big old buff German dude, right? And he's holding their hand, and they're both like this, and they're trying to do the pull shit, right? And that fool kind of looks at him like, what do you want to do, right? And he tries to pull him, and he can't. And then when he fucking leans forward, the big guy's like, whoa. And he's like, see, it's just the way you position yourself. Because when you're grounding, there's energy in the ground. And if you can harness it and you're sitting the right way, right, you could do some shit like that. Like I said, there's a lot of things that people are totally fucking unaware of. But like I said, I'm the one dabbling into it. I'm the one doing the studying. I'm the one putting in the effort to show you these things. And like I said, they're all going to come together eventually. Let me take this off real quick so I can show off a little bit of my sexiness. And the sweater is just kind of like the heat will pick up the more I keep moving. And since I got this on, let me change real quick. Personally, I'm just feeling super sexy. I'm just feeling sexy. There you go. That's a little better. Right? So, anyways, that's just some insight about, just the daily stuff that I would be doing. Or like when I'd be working at that bar and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like I was real cool with everybody. I had a lot of I want to say connections, but not connections like that. But I knew a lot of people, you know what I mean? I knew all the people that came to the bar. I knew all the security guards. They're always like, hey, what's up, man? Like, my personality is just fantastic, you know what I mean? Everybody loved me there. I mean, despite the other negative ones, you know what I mean, that were probably hating on me because I was making good money. Or maybe I was like tricking the system a little bit, you know what I mean? But it wasn't even nothing bad, you know what I mean? Like, I was doing my job. I show up and do my job. I come on time. I'm always 30 minutes early. I take care of the customers. I don't have any customer complaints, you know what I mean? If there was a complaint, it was probably somebody hating on me that said something to somebody else and something and something and something. But I already know that like my managers and stuff like that, they would take care of me, or we would talk about it to whatever situation that was going on. And, they knew what's up. You know what I mean? Because I was always keeping it 100 with them. And I was like, look, whatever they told me, I'm coming to you first to clarify that. Because they could just be saying what they're saying, but they're not my bosses. And they're trying to tell me what to do. You're my boss. I'm going to come to you. You know what I mean? And that's respect right there. You know what I mean? And we had respect for one another. Maybe there was a couple weird ones, that were like, I don't know, But anyways, so let's get this over here off and cracking real quick. So see, like I said, you put a little bit of water here. Helps spin it up. This is just a smoothie spin. So pretty much like it'll spin and then stop to let it settle, spin again. But after that, I just kind of click off of it so I can go from low, medium, high, low, because that still kind of drops it, and then spin it up high. And that should be fairly good. So it's at 48 ounces. It's probably going to be a little more, depending. Like I said, I'm going to finish drinking some of this. But I'll just put you back right here. Because what I end up doing is that, like, however the accumulation, like right now it's 25 minutes and 18 seconds, right? And it's going to keep going. So the last video was like 40 minutes long. And that took like so long to download onto the YouTube. And then in order to put it on the fucking Facebook shit. Anyway, so like I said, I use these things just to strain it. It's a cool little method. You know, these I buy at Family Dollar. They're like $4, couple bucks. This one's brand new. I haven't used it. But when this one starts to wear and tear too much, then I'll switch it to this. But this has lasted me a fucking minute. Like I don't know. I think I've had it for like roughly almost a year. You know what I mean? You just kind of put it right here. It sits right here pretty perfect. You can hold it, strain it, right? I need to find the other one. Otherwise, it's just gonna fucking... Hold on one second. Let me get this video to face the right way. Okay. So... Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to strain it into the other, you know, into anything else. So see how it gets all fluffy? But sometimes I'll just pour it. And like, let's say I got to go handle some shit. Like I got to go do my laundry or switch it and put it in the dryer or whatever. Something with my puppy. If I walk away, this is still going to drain on its own. You know what I mean? So when I come back, I ain't got to put in that much work. You know? I just kind of go like this. See? And you just go like that, you know, simply go like that. Because it's just pulpy. It's a little pulp, you know. And you can see all the green content coming out. But the more you keep kind of like, you just have to have patience. You know what I mean? It's pretty calming. Kind of like like aromatherapy, you know what I mean? It's like good therapy. Kind of like when they relax when they're cooking. It kind of helps them. Or people that exercise. That, you know, people just feel different ways when they do certain things. Or maybe if they're journaling, you know what I mean? Or if they're drawing, just shit like that. Or if they listen to music while they're coloring a coloring book, you know what I mean? People just have different methods and stuff like that. This right here just helps me with my patience. I also do like a lot of thinking if I'm not doing this like video shit. It just helps me like really like hone in on deep thoughts. Sometimes I'll think back to situations and then I like recalculate why it even happened. Sometimes I go too deep, you know, where it's like, okay, that's just an emotion, that's some old shit, I don't need to listen to that. But I think that's with everybody. Everybody feels a particular way about their emotions and their thinking and stuff like that. But I mean, what are you really supposed to do, right? Like when you're doing shit out of your day and you're wide awake, that's all you do is fucking think. You know what I mean? Like constant think. And constant, you know, constantly just fucking honing in on shit. And sometimes, you know, I think where the real problem is sometimes is that some people, they probably like to get fucked up because they don't want to think about anything. You know what I mean? And they find it hard to like get away from the thinking aspect. But that's what the whole meditation's for. Like, you know, just the breathing and just relax and kind of like learn to get out of that shit. That's what it's mainly for, I feel personally. Because when I meditate or I go to the jacuzzi, you know, like where my family's at and stuff like that, and that really helps. You know what I mean? That helps a lot for me. And if it helps me to like really calm and, you know, be collected and feel good. I mean, even earlier, I was walking my puppy. She's tired. She's fucking knocked out. She wanted to play with the tire. I threw it a couple times. And then I noticed that she laid down. She looked at me like... And sometimes I think I'm getting a misreading off of her. Because, like, my mom also told me, like, sometimes they do whatever they can to please you or impress you, right? So I feel bad because I'm like, man, that's basically what it was. She was trying to impress me, like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, because she knows I'm real active. And then she probably feels like... kind of like people that stay at your place, and if they're not paying rent, but they clean your house, they do these things, right? They probably feel out of place because they know they're not giving you no money, and then they feel guilty, like, oh man, you know, and then they start putting themselves down. I think in a sensible way, they feel like that. Like, oh, I'm not putting in any work. You know what I mean? I'm just sleeping all fucking day, and I don't know what he's thinking, and this and that. I know that that's what she thinks because she'll look at me like she has to do something, and I'm like, baby, it's okay, you know, go to sleep, you know. And I try to get her to understand because I'll talk to her just like anybody else, you know. I'll give her like little kisses and rub her and pet her and stuff, and tell her, hey, look, I was like sleep and health, like food wise. Like I'll tell her it's okay to eat, it's okay to sleep. I told her they're very important in this house. Sleep and food is very important in this house, right? Because we do a lot of exercise. We do put in a lot of work. You know what I mean? And she's not lazy. I don't want her to ever feel that way. Like I said, she's in the growing stage. So I want her to understand that you know, everything's okay. It's okay to sleep, you know what I mean? I know some animals, they're just fucking lazy. You know, certain cats and shit like that, they just fucking chill all day. But then again, if you think about it, they're like nocturnal. So they sleep a couple hours and then they play around, do their thing, then they fall asleep again. You know what I mean? They require so much little. But, you know, of course your dog and stuff like that, it's a little different. But I mean, I'm not saying anything new that nobody already kind of knows, you know what I mean? But some people don't really know, to be honest. Like some people actually don't know, right? Like all they know is like, oh well, I don't want to take care of a dog or a cat. Like that's just not me, or oh, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Because it's too much responsibility for them. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of sad because it's like, okay, well, if that's too much responsibility for you, then what are you doing with yourself then? You know what I mean? Like, are you really taking care of yourself? Are you just going out every now and then having a drink? You know what I mean? Like what are you really working on? What are you doing? You know what I mean? And I think with people like that, they're really like I said, like sometimes it could be like a self-reserve thing. Like maybe they're just so closed up inside. Or maybe they're dealing with something like emotionally that they won't tell you about, right? Or they'll lie about like what they really went through, or they don't want to tell you what they went through. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. Maybe that's just them. Maybe they're just fucking weird. You know what I mean? But to me, like I said, I find it unhealthy over time, depending on the situation, depending on your situation or what. Fucking stupid shit. Whatever it might be in the case, you know, whatever it might be in the case of what's going on with that individual. But anyways, yeah, so she sleeps fairly quite a bit, but I mean, it's a given to be asleep that long because I mean, like I said, I fucking run the shit out of her. Like I'll have her go play with the other dogs and they run back and forth, and then I'll play the tire thing with her in the tennis area, and then I work out, and then we walk all the way to my stepdad's place, and then we'll take a hike up the hill. And I took her up and down that hill because I was like, I'm gonna just fucking wear you out, dude. But in the growing stage, when you push them like that, the healing process is faster, right? Like you feed them and then they go right to sleep. And then they just sleep. And then they're growing, you know what I mean? Because, like, when you hear them grunt, like, and they sleep more, it's not just the pain of the healing, right? Like, it's the growing stage, too, you know? Like, if your dog's like mine, because she's about 8 months. So, that's just the whole growing aspect. And to me, it's like, okay, it's a quicker way to get them to grow. You know what I mean? Is by pushing them more and speeding up that process. You know, it's just like kind of like kids, you know, when they're in the growing stage, but they're running around and fucking exercising outside and playing with their friends, playing freeze tag and shit like that. They get tired, you know, but then they have growing pains, but it speeds the process up. That's why your kids will shoot up all of a sudden, like, damn, that fool got fucking tall as fuck, you know? And that does happen. It's the same thing. It's the same shit with animals and stuff. So this is the juice. It's pretty much up there. I'm trying to finish up this video. I hope everybody enjoys the last one I made. That one I was I was really getting that shit, you know, fucking working out and stuff. And like I said, I went like 3 times harder today than on a usual base. And then my nap, I don't even know how long I was napping. But I'm just excited. I'm excited. I was a little sad earlier I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? Just because I feel all these weird emotions, I don't know where they're really coming from. Like I said, I feel like I'm on my period. But everything's gonna come together. I just gotta be patient. This is gonna be my new life starting, and I'm very excited about it. I'm not gonna let anybody negative get in my way, because this is my time to shine. This is my new life. And I'm just gonna enjoy it because, you know, like for the last couple of years, it was just too hard. You know, it was getting really hard. There was too many bad challenges, too many bad people in my life. Lots of confusion. Trying to help somebody that just didn't want to help themselves, took advantage. You know what I mean? I've been taken advantage a lot. And with that shit, it's just, I'm done with it. You know what I mean? No more. No more am I going to allow that. You know what I mean? If I see that, then I'm going to be like, you know what, fuck you. You know what I mean? I'm going to step to you real hard. But like I said, I'm a good person, so I'm not really trying to shoot for so much. You know what I mean? So much negativity. So, like, basically, like, I just need to surround myself with positive individuals. Like, if I start to see that there's, like, something there with a particular individual and it's not matching up with my shit, then I'm just gonna get on. Don't get me wrong. I think we all kind of gravitate towards, you know, like, a little bit of negativity. Like women, they're like, oh, I want me a bad boy, you know. Ooh, he's so fine. He's cholo. He this, he that, you know. But in reality, it's like, bitch, that's why you got fucking problems, you know what I mean? Because you're not going for the, you're not trying to go for the opposite. You know what I mean? Like, for me personally, I would always be gravitating towards these troubled girls, right? And I didn't think that they were troubled. I thought maybe they were just a little fucked up. And I'm like, well, I'm a little fucked up, you know what I mean? But they're not willing to put in the work to change all the way, right? Like, some of them are, but then there's an issue there, right? There's something wrong with them or something like that. Me, I have like a million things, you know what I mean? Like, I could be wrong a lot of ways, you know what I mean? But when I'm really like focused, like let's just say, for instance, like if I hook up with somebody and it's like the right person, I feel, or whatever, you know, or she's with it, I'm with it, then I'll give my all, you know, like, okay, well let's do it, you know what I mean? And I'm different, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe back then I did some fucked up shit, or I cheated, or, you know what I mean? Like, everybody does what they do. Everyone fucks up, you know, when you first start. Some people don't. Some people are just naturally good, you know what I mean? I mean, I started off that way, but something changed, and it was just bad, you know what I mean? But I'm glad that it happened, because it taught me a lot of things on, like, how that individual felt, or how I made them feel, or even some of the stuff I was doing where I was like, okay, that's just fucking wrong, bro. Like, you know, just tell yourself you're wrong. So, you know, that was like so many moons ago. But I'm not like that no more. You know what I mean? Now, if I'm single, I'm gonna do what it is that it does. You know what I mean? But it's not like I'm out there, like I said, it's not like I'm out there holding it up. You know what I mean? I see individuals that are like fairly pretty or cute or whatever like that. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know? But I already know that I don't know their situation. They could be talking to somebody. They could be pregnant. You don't even know they're pregnant. You know what I mean? So there's just so many things that happen where it's like you gotta kind of take things with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, the dating world, it's not like what it used to be. I know a lot of people are probably like, oh, he talks a lot about that, you know? But it's true, though. You know what I mean? Because I've met plenty of singles, I especially dudes. Like, I meet a lot of dudes that are like, fuck, bro, like, I can't even fucking meet the right girl, and you know what I mean? And at least with that, if they're saying that, that means that they're not just trying to fuck. They really want somebody genuinely, you know what I mean? And then you got these girls over here that are like, I just want a man that's gonna treat me right, and and they're lying. In reality, they want him to treat him like shit, you know? Like, you know, if I've noticed that, you know what I mean? Like, if you're too sweet, too nice, then they veer off because, like, they're kind of used to, like, being like, oh, no, I'm good. or oh yeah, whatever, right? And the girl's like, what happened? And then all of a sudden she's on you, right? Like, oh, I don't want to lose this fool. But then at some point when you come too nice, they cut you off, and it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like that right there. I don't like them fucking games. You know what I mean? Like, I know that in a sense of a way, most women are like, well, we shouldn't have to tell you what we want, right? I'm looking at the time, sorry. We shouldn't have to tell you what we want. I get that. But that's when you're together. You know what I mean? But if you're just like peeping in and you guys are talking and stuff like that, then that's kind of like a different story. You know what I mean? And so that's what I don't like. Like, cause they both fuck it up for good people. You know what I mean? Guy or girl. So like if the girl is wanting a particular thing, but she doesn't really want it, and then the guy, he's like, oh, I kind of figured it out, dude. You just gotta be an asshole. You gotta be a dick. And then that becomes the trend, right? So every dude that acts like a dick to his lady, she's like on that shit, right? But let's say you guys been together for 5 years, and some other dude, he's a better dick than you, and then she jumps on that. You know what I mean? How does that even fucking work, dude? Like, that's not real love. You know what I mean? That's not real caring. To me, that's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like even my mom's, man. Like, my mom's is older, but she knows the game, though. You know what I mean? She's like, you know what? These fucking chicks, they fuck it up for themselves. You know? Or, like, we'll talk about dudes. Like, dudes will fuck it up for shit. You know what I mean? But it's true, though. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, she had told me one time where it's like, oh, well, you know what? They're so used to these abusive type stuff where, like, if you're too nice... Well, and like, let's say the girl, like, yaps at you, and you're like, okay, yeah, and you're trying to be calm about it, and you're being a man about it, like, being a real fucking man about it, they'll look at you like, why is that fool not snapping at me, or getting in my face, or telling me, you know, to shut the fuck up? That fool's a bitch. Or they look at you like, oh, you're a pussy. You know what I mean? And I was like, what? And my mom's like, yeah, that's how they look at it, like, oh, you're a fucking pussy, right? She's like, but that's not the way they should be thinking, though. She's like, a man, if he can be like, you know what? We're fighting, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna take a walk because I'm fucking pissed off, right? I get it, yeah, it could be sexy. Like, if you're like, hey, girl, you need to calm the fuck down. You know what I mean? And then you grab her, and then you guys are kissing, and then fucking, you know what I mean? I get that. But not when you're like that all the time. Like, you know, like, you need constant validation, you need constant fucking security, then that's no good. And it's the same thing with men, you know, if they need that constant, like, reevaluation all the fucking time, then the guy's insecure. Anyone that's insecure, like, overly insecure, or they need validation all the time, they're gonna fucking cheat. They're gonna cheat. 100 fucking %, they're gonna cheat. They're gonna be drinking or smoking a little bit of weed. If you guys live across from town, or even if she lives fucking, I don't know, like 15 minutes away, she's gonna fucking cheat. She's gonna be with her homegirls, and she's like, man, he's pissing me off. He wasn't giving you the right reaction, which you wanted, so now you're gonna react, right? Think about it. He's not giving you the right reaction that you wanted. Now it's time for you to react because you're not getting the reaction that you wanted, right? That makes sense. It's a combination of how you, like words and meanings mean something, right? Words and meanings and all that shit mean something. So that's true. That's kind of like how I look at it. Like, you're always gonna be tripping on your man because you're not getting what you want at that time. Or like, okay, well, like, when those things do occur, you start doing that shit, start cheating and doing that, and you're insecure or whatever. Now you create an actual portfolio, right? To where, like, psychologically, like, let's say everything's good, your man's treating you good, you're doing good, but something clicks where you're like, oh man, but that one dude, like, now you become addicted to what you're doing. Like, you know, if you're smoking or you're drinking or doing something right, and you and your man are doing good, then you already know everything's good, but now it's time to sabotage it. Now you're like, okay, well, I remember I met that one dude from that one party. I know if I hit him up, he's gonna want to come over and he's gonna want to fuck. Or I can go to his pad and I can fuck, right? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, your bitch starts fighting with you. Out of nowhere, right? Or she creates a scenario and, like, what did you mean by that, right? And then all of a sudden you guys are fighting. And then, man, and she already knows how you're gonna react. So she already knows that you're gonna be like, you know what, whatever, dude, we'll just talk later, right? Click. And then you don't hear from her for a day or a day and a half, right? And then, oh, I'm sorry, she's already fucking cheating. And I speak from experience. You know, I got cheated on. I know I got cheated on, dude. Thousands, hundreds of millions of fucking times. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I humble myself, yo, because in a lot of fucking ways, like, I know who my enemies are. You know what I mean? And even if I'm trying good and doing good, I'm studying you. You know what I mean? I'm studying you to the fucking fullest, to every little fucking membrane, every little fucking thing that's shooting off in your brain. Beep, 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 beep. Now I know what really motivates you, what works you, what you got going on in there. And most people will say, "Oh, I know you like the back of my hand." People don't know what the fucking back of their hand looks like. You know what I mean? They don't. That's just a fucking saying. But to me, I can literally sit there. I can literally, for 100%, I could say that 100%. I know you better than you fucking know yourself. Because I've been watching you. I've been studying you, nigga. You know? And it's not like it's a project, but you brought that on yourself. You started doing shit to me like that. Okay, you're doing me wrong. You're hurting me. You're doing me wrong. All I'm doing is sitting back in the cut and watching you do it. Smelling you, listening to you, peeping you. So that way, in that category, someone else that comes along, beep, oh, I'm good. You know, I'm good. Nope. Till I get to the right one, right? Women do it. They just don't say it. And I've heard plenty of fucking women say, "Oh, well, you know, men talk more than women." Yeah, because now you're making a statement now, right? We're bitches, right? Like, "Oh, you acting like a bitch." How do we really even know if that's what it is? You know what I mean? Like, there's two sides to each story. What if the guy was really good and it's the girl that's starting all the shit? And then she's like, "Oh, no, he acting like a bitch, whoopty whoop." And the other guy, she already knows that this fool's fucking horny. He's like, "Oh, yeah, you know, fuck that fool." And now he's on board with her. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, it's not all just the women shit. There's a lot of fucking assholes out there. There's a lot of fucking dudes that play games and be like, "Nah, this and that." You know, like, I've heard some shit. I've heard, I won't say who, but there was a homegirl or a girl that I knew that was telling me about this dude that she was with, right? And they were messing around and stuff like that. And she thought they were good. She thought they were serious and stuff. And then there was like certain things that she was starting to pick up on. Like he had a pattern of something. And he was mobbing it from another girl's house that was literally not even too far from where she was located, right? Where the girl that okay, so how do I put this? The girl that was talking with the guy, right? She thought that they were getting something going on and they were going to be together and stuff like that, right? But even though he was talking to her, he was peeping to another bitch. And let's say that she lived 3 blocks down. They got into it. So he calls her, right? And he's coming down, he's like, "Yeah, you know, this and that, and da, and blah, blah, blah," right? I don't think he was saying it directly, like, "Oh, I got into it with this girl that I'm seeing, even though I'm seeing you." He didn't say that. But she was picking up on some shit where she was like, women are very, like, intuitive, like I said. And she started to get that, like, "Oh, he's fucking with me and fucking with this girl," right? And that's when she was like, she cut him. You know what I mean? But you gotta think about it, though, right? Fools like that add on to the shit, you don't know, like, maybe he might. Maybe, depending on their conversations, right? Like if I'm talking with a girl and she's telling me like, "Oh, these are my past previous relations," or "This is what happened, da 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 da," I'll take that like on a 50-50. Because you could be telling me the truth or you could be fucking lying, right? Same thing with me. They could be thinking the same shit, right? But that's what I'm saying. If he already knows, if he was genuine, right? And he already knows what she's been through, why are you going to add on to that shit? You know what I mean? You're adding on to that. And then that gives that girl to be like, no hope, right? Some of them are so drained and fucking knocked off because of these fucking asshole dudes to where they're like, "You know what? Fuck it. I might as well be a lesbian," right? It's easy for a woman to do that because women are beautiful, right? It's not easy for a dude. You know, if I was like knocked out, I was knocked off so many times. I don't sit here to be like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to suck some dick," you know? Or take it up the butt. Fuck my problems out. You know what I mean? I don't do that shit, dude. Like, anyways, let me test this shit. I went there with that shit, huh? I mean, think about it, dude. Think about it. Oh, it doesn't taste too bad. I can taste the cucumber but the lemon kind of pushes it good. A little hint of the ginger. The apple kind of smooths it over. I think if I ended up putting one more lemon, it would just kind of be a little sour, but it's not bad. And that's warm. It's not even cold. But like I said, I'm gonna work that in and show you guys down the line with the processing of the lymphatic system and everything else once I start adding all that stuff in. Now I'm already at 50 minutes. I'm gonna cut it out. I hope you guys got what I'm saying about the whole shit, you know, the whole program, you know, like how everything works in life and how it shouldn't be like that. There's my puppy, is sleepy. And I'm gonna get some grub. You guys have a good night. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Holler at your boy. All right. Love you guys. Peace out.